Okay, so welcome again. We are on Wednesday. We're Wednesday, the 30th of March, end of the month now. We are looking into the Wednesday. So we're looking at the pound dollar, we're looking at the euro pound as well. Just a bit of a recap. We've seen quite big movements on the US dollar through yesterday, late yesterday afternoon through the night. With the Traders Club members, we were going through a live session last night as well, and we actually shared quite a few trade ideas that are in the money right now. So if you haven't already, Traders Club members, go check out the video on the link shared in the platform. If you're not a club member, you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you come join us in the club. We do run, apart from this daily session, we do run twice a week sessions on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, just so that we can get into shorter term trades, get a bit of a recap in terms of what's happened in the news, what could be happening coming up as well, and how to plan your trades from that point on. With that said, as usual, first things we do is any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of myself, the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. With that, now looking at the news, what could happen? Where's my news? All right, here. On Forex Factory, today being the Wednesday, 30th of March, we can see that for today, we do have some news in the afternoon, right? I've spoken about President Lagarde speaking and possibly not going to move prices too much. The main focus now is the ADP non-farm employment change number. Not a big change, but not just a data news at this point. Pay attention to what else could happen. We're looking at the Bank of Japan again for the third consecutive day, offering to buy unlimited amount of 10-year bonds at a 0.25%. That's one. And then also, where was it? Late yesterday, we had a possible de-escalation around Kiev and in some cities of Ukraine. But, the market, although a bit optimistic a bit about the de-escalation, Russian forces moving away. I think further down we have Russian forces moving away from the de-escalate, not halt military activity near the cities in Ukraine. That actually brought about the move away from reserve assets such as the dollar. That's why we saw that dollar drop so significantly last night or yesterday afternoon. So here sharing with you the dollar index on the H4 time frame, dollar index on the H4 time frame. Yesterday we saw this drop, right from about 98, 93 all the way down to as low as 98 flat before bouncing back up and consolidating in this zone here. We were talking about this last night. If it does break either towards the upside, we could see a quick rebound in the US dollar. It didn't happen, so I'll take that away. At this point, it looks like we're seeing the dollar index break lower below this 98.27 level. We're possibly looking at it come lower. I don't think it will go all the way to 97.40. I think that it might first come towards 97.86 before we see any significant further downside on the dollar index. So overall, in the short to medium term, we're possibly looking at the dollar weakening, possibly weakening across the board as the dollar index is dropping. So what this means is looking at the news, looking at the charts, the pound dollar in focus today. We've had the pound dollar go through massive volatility. I'll zoom in a bit here. We've had the pound dollar go through massive volatility at this 1.31 level. At this 1.31 level, we've seen it test lower, bounce back up, didn't like that high point, came back in, and now climbing back towards this 1.31 level. Anticipation here is that with the dollar weakness to be expected, or expecting that dollar weakness, what I'm looking for is for the pound to continue moving higher. For the pound to continue moving higher, especially if it can break above this 1.31 level. Quite straightforward as well, is because, again, coming back to the news, you can see that for today, no pound news apart from one MPC member speaking. No pound news, some US numbers, ADP non-farm numbers, final GDP quarter on quarter, no change expected there. So, no big surprises expected there. And even into tomorrow, right, we do have the pound GDP numbers, no change expected there. So no surprises expected. Retail sales number might improve a little bit from a 5.1 to a 5.3. This is year on year for the Swiss franc. I thought it was for pound. No, it's not. Pound final GDP 1%. Everything else stays the same. US unemployment numbers, PMI into Friday. Again, no pound news. Manufacturing PMI looking to stay the same. So we're looking at economic data for the UK looking quite stable, looking quite flat, quite consistent. So what I'm looking for here is, again, for the pound dollar on the H4 time frame, if it can break above this 1.31 level, I'll be looking for a buying opportunity at about 1.31, be a bit safer and say 1.3120, right? 1.3120, look to buy, take profit. You could go all the way to about 70 pips towards that 1.32 level. Your stop loss could be quite tight at about 20 to even 30 pips. I would say quite comfortably a 30 pip stop loss there. So 1:2.3 risk reward ratio towards the upside for the pound dollar. For this trade, one decision point will be what happens at 1.3145. If it gets resisted, close out this trade. If it breaks above, then continue holding on to that take profit of 70 pips. So this trade can be broken into two parts. The first, the entry, then after that, the decision point at 1.3145, and then a take profit at 70 pips. I think that if we see the dollar continue to weaken, this would be quite a good trade, quite a nice trade setup that we could be anticipating there. So looking at the pound dollar there, next thing we're going to do is check back onto the euro pound. Right, checking back on the euro pound, the last time yesterday when we spoke about it, I was saying that if it comes up and breaks above this 8414 level, 8415 level, you can look to buy with a 20 pip stop loss and 40 pip take profit level. I hope you actually did catch this trade straight line upwards towards the 8454 level right now, breaking above that 8467 resistance, possibly heading higher. Why I say possibly heading higher, despite the anticipation that the pound dollar is likely to move up, is also because of looking at the euro dollar. Euro dollar heading higher again. We were talking about this on Tuesday yesterday. This was last night when we were sharing with our club members. And again, I was just sharing with club members that might have been a good chance to reload on that next trade. This point, we're still looking for euro dollar to push higher. As the euro dollar goes up, we're seeing that it could drag the euro pound back up further. So where could we be looking for the euro pound to head towards? I would have to go into the daily time frame just to give you the next level. The next resistance level could first be at that 8578 level. Looks a little bit far, but it should be okay. So back at H4, if you're looking to buy the euro pound here, I'll zoom in a bit. If you're looking to buy the euro pound at this point, anticipating a further euro pushing higher, we could see this move up towards the 85.78 level. This is quite a big trade in terms of the euro pound. I'll be a bit more careful with this, but I would say that, if you look for buying opportunities above, I would actually say above 85, because we're very close to the 85 round number now, the 0.85 round number now. So I would say, look to buy above that 85 level. You could have a 30, 40 pip stop loss, and then your take profit could be that 60, 70 pip take profit towards that 85, 78 or 85, 80 level. You have a 40 pips, yep, to 60, 70 pips. You could have a 1 is to 1.6 risk reward ratio towards the upside. I would think the temptation for the euro pound is to jump into the trade right now, thinking that you could ride it all the way, but I think that 0.85 round number could prove as a bit of a hurdle. So look for it to break above that point before looking to buy the euro pound further towards upside. That also will have to be dependent on the euro continuing to move up, the pound possibly not moving up as aggressively as the euro, or sitting in a little bit of a consolidation for the short term for the pound dollar at this level. So this could sit there for a while, move a little bit higher, sit there for a while the euro dollar shoots up. We could see that pull the euro pound quite significantly towards the upside. So with all that said, quite a few trade ideas. We have, a quick recap of the euro dollar. We spoke about it yesterday. We spoke about it last night. I think that we have another trade opportunity on the euro dollar to push higher. The pound dollar needs to break above this 1.31 level, close above this resistance level now to break higher, and also the euro pound to break quite significantly higher above a rather major resistance and a round number of 0.85. With all that put together, quite a few trade ideas to look at. I want to just do a quick look at the pound yen that we spoke about last night with our club members. Pound yen, we were looking at it sitting at this 1.160.82 level. And we were saying that if it broke back up, we could look to buy, or if it broke down, you can look to sell below towards the 137 pip target. Right now, the pound yen is moving towards our take profit level. If you haven't already jumped into this trade, look to see whether it's going to close below this point. Then maybe we could have another trade back down towards the 158 support level. So quite a few trade ideas here on the markets, with the dollar index moving in the downward fashion, with possibly a ceasefire, some peace treaty in the Russia-Ukraine borders, with central banks taking on a little bit more action with the coping with inflation. We're seeing a lot of trade ideas, a lot of trade opportunities, but main thing you have to do right now, trade safe, trade well, and we'll see you tomorrow for the yen pairs and also for gold. Take care now. Bye-bye.